How are you guys feeling?
Good.
You guys seem a lot of it.
Drew, over here. So you're coming into town as not the local favorite here. I mean, you're prepared for that? You're welcome for that?
My first couple of fights in the UFC, I was always going to other people's backyards and fighting. So I'm very conditioned to it, very used to it. And as of right now, whether the energy is positive or negative, I just love fighting in front of a crowd.
This is obviously, people look at this fight in particular on this card, and it has, fight of the night potential on it. Is that something you kind of come into and you're aware of, and maybe hold yourself to some sort of expectations that maybe you got to deliver for the fans?
I mean, as soon as the fight offer was placed in front of me with the name Matt Frevola, I was like, yep, absolutely. This guy engages. He looks for a finish. I don't think he's in boring fights. Like he fights for a finish, and so do I, and that's bred to be great fights.
He was a little surprised to get you as the name kind of came across. I think it spoke more to the fact that the UFC seemed to think that maybe he was ready for you. Do you look at this as almost fighting down in a way, or how does your mental approach to that kind of thing go?
Absolutely not. I'm not above fighting anyone, and I think people without a number in front of their name are the most dangerous because they're hungry and they have something to prove. And I try to get a top 10, top 15 guys. We dust it off my Twitter, try to run my mouth a little bit, and these guys are playing hard to get. And staying active is more important to me than having, crazy prestigious fights. For me, it's not about who you fight, it's how you fight. And that Matt Frevola shows that, and I'm going to show that, and we're just going to create memories.
Is this the type of thing, though, where, again, I understand your mentality of it, but I mean, there might be, kind of the angle from the UFC, maybe you're almost fighting down. You might get that chance to fight up in rankings, maybe get somebody a higher opportunity. You kind of see the potential for that here?
Oh, absolutely. I think another win, another knockout, and just keep on that trajectory, we're going to get big names. I just got to keep active, stay relevant, and, keep putting on the performances that I have been.
Thank you.
Hey, Drew, over here. Are you expecting the same sort of firefight that everyone else is as fans?
Depends on what he wants to bring to the table. He's got a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He also wrestles extremely well. He has a win over Jalen Turner. So I just know he's chaotic, he's talented, and he has the conditioning to back up whatever he decides. So in that first round, we're going to figure out what Matt is bringing to the table, and we got to adjust and focus on the way I win fights.
And the rest of your 2023, barring everything goes well, you stay healthy, how many fights do you want to get in, and how close do you think you are from title contention?
Ideally, I always try to get 3 fights in a year. That's the fights that I put on, I got to recover from. So unfortunately, I can't do back-to-back. But yeah, we're trying to fight as soon as possible. The top of the division is a little logged down or backed up. So we'll see who becomes available. So I haven't really thought too much on it, but yeah, staying active and how fast am I going to get to the title? I don't know, and I don't really care as long as we just create memories in the meantime.
And I know you're focused on Frevola, but I have to ask just because I saw the social media back and forth. Renato Moicano, is that still a fight that we could see in the future?
Oh, absolutely. That was a fight that we wanted. There was a ton of fights that we were looking at. RDA and I, we wanted to fight each other, but that was a 170-pound fight, and just doesn't make sense for either of us right now. I'm ready to fight names. I'm ready to fight guys in the numbers. I'm ready to be a co-main, main. We're ready to put Drew Dober on the headlines, and I think a win over Matt Frevola is going to put us there.
Drew, over here on your left.
Yes, sir.
Where do you think in Matt's game does he offer the biggest challenge to you?
His chaos and his conditioning. I think he comes in like the Tasmanian devil, and he's able to keep that up for 15 minutes. He's overall a complete martial artist, ground, stand up, and everything. So that's his strengths. I do feel like his engagement, he does get caught quite often, and when I catch people, I'm able to put them away. So I'm just going to be the more polished fighter, but he's bringing in all that enthusiasm.
And then on the other side, for you, where do you think he might struggle with the most with your game?
Just the power in the hands. He's going to fall in love with trying to punch me in the mouth, and he's going to leave that chin open, and I'm pretty good at finding it.
Thank you.
Drew, in front of you, I know you mentioned that the names don't really matter a great deal to you as much as the fights themselves. But is Paddy Pimblett still a name that's that interests you?
Yeah, Paddy's name's great. It's fun. I feel like he's like the Jake Paul of the UFC right now. You know, he's bringing in a lot of attention. But really, the opportunity that excites me the most, not his name, is that O2 Arena in London. Fighting in front of the English crowd would be so much fun. Like I said, whether you love me or hate me, I just love the energy, and they bring in so much energy.
And what do you think of him personally as an opponent and as a guy?
I think he has a lot of growing up to do. I think, I made those mistakes in my early 20s as well, inside the octagon and outside the octagon. I think he's going to mature well as long as he listens to good advice, but he definitely needs some time. And so I feel like this injury works out better for him as long as he trains, improves the areas that he needs to improve, and then he just keeps that social status. And I think he's going to be a Conor McGregor-ish.
Thank you.
I'm curious, as a man who's so well put together, what was some of the dumbest and most immature things you did in your early 20s?
I mean, do we see like the pictures of me of my UFC debut? I mean, the haircut was bad. I was out of shape. Like, man, I was doing the Paddy diet for a little while too, and we had to like make 55 from coming down from 200. So yeah, like I did all of it. But luckily, I stayed in the game long enough to bring the IQ with me, and so yeah, things are a little bit more smooth now.
Drew, just one for you here. What would it mean to you to get a knockout in this fight and have sole possession of that lightweight KO record?
You know, I thought long and hard. It's really cool to see my name along a record, but honestly, it's not what I'm looking for, right? Because who I'm tied with is Dustin Poirier, and his resume is a little bit better than mine. So yes, knockouts, but knockouts on who? And these are the knockouts that I'd prefer. So we can subtract the number of knockouts as long as I get a big name fight and a big name knockout. That's is what I would care about.
Like getting a fight with him one day and knocking him out.
I mean, absolutely. If like winning the number one knockout against the Dustin Poirier would be incredible. Having a win over Conor McGregor, and if Michael Chandler wants to swing hands, like these are the people that I want to knock out over, you know?
Just on that, you mentioned that you weren't really interested in the moment of moving up to 170. If the opportunity to fight Conor was there, I think you would probably do it, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said I'd move up to 170 against RDA because a former world champion, why not? And I don't have to cut weight. Like, I would absolutely love that. But I don't think the UFC likes when people swap weight classes often, so I just take opportunities.
Just wanted to get a prediction for the main event from yourself.
Oh, man, that's going to be such a close fight. I think they're both amazing grapplers. Cejudo being obviously the Olympic wrestler, and then Aljamain bringing in that strong grappling ability of being able to take people's back. I think the significant attribute is going to be the size advantage, and I don't know if Henry Cejudo put on that athletic size in his retirement. So that's going to be the big thing, and I think Aljamain Sterling is going to be able to get it done by decision. Thank you so much, guys.